Everything's working here. All plugged in and good to go. So tonight's going to be kind of a quick stream, just kind of an update on the latest couple of days of activity and what to watch out for here coming up in the next couple of days here. So we're just going to do a quickie here. So let's kind of get to it. This currently is the 10th right here. This is just 13 frames of the beginning of the 10th. And it doesn't really show too much, but there's currently a CME underway or whatever. You'll see it on the other instrument. And let's see, where's my pointer here? If you look, you can see a small little sun diving comet coming in down here. So there's not much really going on right now as far as the 10th. But when we come over here to this real quick, you can see here that they show an M-class flare already here on the 10th. So maybe it's a little further into the series of frames here that we have on the 10th. But I want you to look at this area right here, this bright area. This has been known to be an indicator of the inbound object. Okay, these bright spots have a tendency to point towards these objects as they come in. Okay, so I expect to see something erupting from this area here pretty soon. Either this area, there's a couple other little bright spots. This is our current bright spot and our current CME that's underway. And I think, let me see here. Door crack. I thought I had somebody coming in. All right, so back to where we were here. So this is just a little glimpse of the 10th. All right, now I want to kind of go backwards in time here. So we're going back to the 9th. This was earlier today. Okay, so this is the activity from October 9th of 2023. Okay, and you can see we've had a blast over here. I'm not going to go into the objects tonight and go frame by frame. I just want you to notice that we've had a blast here, okay, on the 9th. It shows it kind of going off to the side, but this object and stuff is still headed our way, okay? You can come over here to this instrument, click on it, and look at it more. There's something else in this one right here. So there's the 9th, okay? So keep these dates in the back of your mind because they're going to relate to our weather forecast here in a few. Now, what I want to do is go back another day to the 8th, all right? Here's our big event on October 8th, all right? So let me get this loop playing here. And I want you to watch this loop. See, we had an object induce a big event right here. And then another big event, two of them right there. So we had three good-sized events on the 8th, which translates roughly 3 days to get to the Earth, which translates to the 11th, okay? That's why I titled this Lookout 11th, all right? Because we're going to do a little forecast for the 11th. I know this next coming day is going to be the 10th, but I still need to give a good day in advance warning for what I see coming down the pike here. Also, while we're kind of looking at this for a minute, I want to just take a quick moment to say a prayer for everybody that's involved with the Israeli war. You know, there's individuals on both sides that are innocent civilians that are being caught in the middle of, of destiny, of prophecy. You know, all this stuff was foretold. I think a lot of my viewers are seeing now a lot clearer that these are prophecies coming true. Anyways, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. From my perspective, let me just put it to you this way. I'm a father of two teenage boys right now, okay? And from my perspective, this is like watching my two teenage boys try to kill each other. All right, it breaks my heart to see these two countries, innocent people on both sides, just being slaughtered, raped. It's atrocious. It's part of the process. Hopefully, you guys will understand that a little bit. But let's just pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And when you look at it that way, some of you people who have parents, maybe you have a good child and a bad child or whatever, but you would never want to see your two children trying to kill each other as a parent. So It's heartbreaking to see, so that's why we pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Hopefully cooler heads will prevail, but it doesn't appear that we're having that. So anyways, let's continue on here. What's important about this event right here on the 8th is this is going to translate into inbound energy on the 11th on the earth. Okay, so I showed you the 10th, the 9th, and the 8th. So this is going to translate into the 11th, 12th, and into the 13th. Okay, so what I want to do is come over here real quick. Well, we'll do this like we usually do. Let me zoom in real quick. Now see, this instrument here is showing a pretty significant M-class flare right here, beginning of today, the 10th here. Okay, and from what we saw on the satellite, it didn't show much of an M-class flare compared to all these other big flares right here that have produced bigger explosions. So I was expecting to see something a lot bigger on the satellite than what we saw on the 10th. Anyhow, we're up to a 5% potential for an X flare. We're getting a little bit of a hit right there. We got 2 sunspots. One's beta delta, one's beta gamma, so watch out for those 2 little sunspots. Also, we have that huge filament that lifted up but never popped off. It never extended and exploded off the surface of the, and it rotated around and away from the out of the strike zone. Here's our sunspots right here, but they're rotating out of the strike zone too. So just zoom back out. Not much on the tracker. It just shows this small little CME going off to the right here, which is fine with me. I'll take anything not headed towards the earth right now. Just real quick, I didn't pull up the Schumann, but let's just do this real quick. We had another incident of missing data here on the Schumann, which keeps looking more and more suspicious every time. ELF sonogram. Okay, and there it is. See, here's our data. All right, when I was watching right here, it was looking okay. It was getting a couple of little weak spots that I was going to point out, but now I can't because the data's missing. So what we have is this data, and at the current time here, we have a pretty decent, strong little line pumping along here. And not too much to look at, but just trust me, we have a decent line going right now, which indicates a semi-strong magnetic field. Okay, so with the 8th, 9th, and 10th in mind, I'm going to come over here to this weather forecast, and we're just going to go through the first few days here because I want you to take notice here. This is why we're doing this quick little stream. Okay, so let's just pick up here. This is the nighttime of the 9th, and I'm just going to start going forward because here's the morning of the 10th. Noon the 10th, here's the end of convection. Then as we get into the 11th, this is the morning of the 11th down here. Okay, remember I said watch out for the 11th? Here's noontime the 11th, just off the coast of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, right here, is intensifying. And then here we are at the end of convection. All right, now let me see if I can zoom in on this one. Yeah, there we go. All right, the end of convection right here, Alabama, Georgia, the panhandle of Florida right here. This whole area, watch out, because this is when we're due to have this extra energy to intensify this already intense storm, okay? So I want you guys in this area to keep a heads up on the 11th. That's what this video is all about, is this warning and another one back here for this. So as we go from, let me back out so I can use the buttons again here. All right. Now, let's go one more frame here. So this is the end of convection, the 11th. Now watch this. In the nighttime, it moves into southern Georgia, northern Florida, right through here at the this is going to be 1 to 2 in the morning on the East Coast. This is 11 Pacific, so 1, 2, yeah, 2 in the morning on the East Coast is when this is going to be moving through. So from the end of convection here, where it's going to blossom the most, plus the added energy from our inbound objects, then it moves right through here and then off the coast. Let's take our eyes off of this one and back over to this storm. Now let's back up a little bit. This is the end of convection on the 11th. All right, we have this blossoming here. We also have this low winding up back here, and it's dumping snow on the backside here into Wyoming, into Colorado, sorry, back up into Yellowstone, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho area. Then as we go forward from the end of convection on the 11th into the nighttime hours, this thing starts to wind up. It's starting to have intense thunderstorm speckles through here, these speckled little intense thunderstorm. And then from the nighttime into the morning hours of the 12th, all right, you see how, let's go back one real quick. As this is wrapping up, we're getting snow on the backside, still here into Colorado, Wyoming. Then we go into the morning of the 12th. It tightens up. We have severe thunderstorms now here at southern South Dakota, Nebraska border right here, popping off in the morning hours of the 12th. Snow on the backside still. Then look at this. This is the noontime of the 12th. We also have this inbound energy that has affected this, will also affect this as well. We have these severe thunderstorms out here stretched out to Wisconsin, possibly Minnesota, Iowa area, okay? And then back here, South Dakota, Nebraska border again with snow back here into Wyoming. All right, and this is the 12th now. This has gone from the 11th to the 12th. This is the end of convection on the 12th. Now you see the thunderstorms have moved up to here, up to South Dakota now, and the snow has kind of moved down and solidified here a little bit more. That's the noontime of the 12th. Now these thunderstorms have moved back out to here in front. This is Iowa now for the noontime of the 12th. And then it intensifies at the end of convection on the 13th right here in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa area. All right, so these two storms, the one that hits here and the one that hit here, both of these storms are going to be influenced by this inbound energy. So we're just going to go back through them a little bit. Here's the very beginning where it approaches the Gulf Coast here. Like I said, this is the noontime, the 11th. That's the end of convection right there. Blossoming is, really hard right here on the coastline, hitting the Panhandle, Alabama, moving through Georgia. So this is going to be an intense storm that moves through here. So everybody in that area, be on alert, batten down the hatches. Same back up in here is this thing. Once this moves out, this one gains strength and winds up and does this punch. Boom. So let me back up, watch this thing, do this wind up, and then punch this area. Boom, 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 boom. Big old uppercut right up into that area. And the rest of this forecast I'm not going to really go through because it's mostly clear. It's too far out. We also have anything could happen between now and then that would influence this, so we don't really need to go that far out. So now I want to do a quick earthquake. We're not going to go through them all, but what I want to point out are 3 earthquake swarm areas that I've been watching closely here. Actually 4 now. This being one of the areas. Okay, some of the bigger quakes in this area. This is over the past week now. Okay, some of these bigger quakes, a 6.1, another 6.1. Okay, here's another 6.0. So 3 6s in this area at this quake swarm. Just right over here next to it is another smaller, what appears to be another quake swarm with 5.6, 5.6, 5.1, and 5.0. Okay, so these two little areas are having quake swarms right next to each other. Then we also have another quake swarm going on down here in New Guinea. And we'll zoom in on this one real quick here. Hopefully this is picking up. There we go. All right, go through these real quick. This one is a 6.9. All right, probably was a 7.2 or something like that, and they always downgraded under a 7, right? So it's a 6.9 at a depth of 76. So even if it was a 6.9 down at that depth, it's a 7 at the surface, at least. Okay. This other one right here, another major quake, a 6.7. Okay. And then all these residual quakes around it. These aren't aftershocks. This is a little quake swarm area going on. Okay. Then we have up here, this was a 6.4 in this area. And then I want to come over to our other quake swarm here in Afghanistan real quick. And we're going to zoom in on this because I found something very interesting in this one. Okay, let's get this as best as we can for our audience. All right, there are two big quakes here. Everybody reported as one, but I want you to see something. This is a 6.3 on October 6th at 23:41. All right, this one's on October 6th at a depth of 14. This one's the same magnitude, a 6.3, but it's at a different depth, and it's on a different day. It's on October 7th at 0:12. So we have two different quakes here that they tried to mask as one, and they're both 6.3s. And then we had all our residual quakes around this area. And as you back out and go to the regular map, it looks like it's just one quake. But when you zoom in, there's a quake swarm going on there in Afghanistan as well. Okay, so we got our 3 quake swarm, actually 4 because there's a smaller one kind of bridging off of this one here at Japan. I'd kind of indicate if this wasn't here and this was just standing alone, I would say this is a quake swarm. So 2 of them right here just south of Japan, and 1 in Afghanistan and 1 down in New Guinea that we're watching closely. All of them with pretty decent sized quakes, 6s and almost 7. Okay, so that's about it for that. I think we covered everything. Yeah, I wanted to just do kind of quick. We'll close out with this. Please pull this image up. Whoops. Oh, come on. I had this all set, you guys. Oh, play your ad. Hurry up. Come on. Play the thing. Yeah, play the longest ad you can while I'm live. Thanks, YouTube. Okay, back to where I was set up at. All right, we're going to kind of leave it right here at this image. It's important you guys see this image, okay? Because, whoops, after what's going on right now in Israel, I think it's important that you understand that this is all biblical. This is all written, foretold to happen. All right? So hopefully, you guys, this brings you peace, some courage, a foundation and everything. We need to pray for everybody involved in this for cooler heads to prevail. I hate to see my children kill each other. But unfortunately, that's what seems to be going on. So everybody pray for the peace of Jerusalem. You can see why it's important now. All right? And keep your head on a swivel. Prophecies are unfolding, jumping off the page left and right every day. So I just want you guys to understand this is all real. This is a real image. Take peace. Take solace in this. Use this as your foundation. This happened on Easter, okay, of 2020. It was an hour-long event. I've showed you this several times, but this is what I usually close out with. And I'm sorry, I'd like to hang around more, but I got to get back to praying because I've been praying like a madman ever since this attack started. I've been spiritually attacked since it started myself. So I got a lot going on in the background that I really can't explain to you guys. But I do have a moment to pop on here and warn you about this weather coming here at Florida and the Midwest with snow on the backside of this right here on the 12th and 13th. This bad boy on the 11th right there. Going through Georgia and everything too. Let me just zoom in a couple times here. There it is. Okay, so that's hitting on the 11th right there. This whole region should be heads up on the 11th, okay, because this is going to pan out to be probably more than what it looks like on this radar. I pray I'm wrong. I'll be glad if I'm wrong, but I know how this is working, and when this inbound energy mixes with these storms, it really pumps them up stronger. So everybody keep praying hard. I think you see